जय कुंज विहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरिहराय नमः, कृष्ण यादवाय नमः, यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः, गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदन, गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन, श्री चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत सीता, हरि गुरु वैष्णव भगवद गीता, श्री सनातन भट रघुनाथ, जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ, हरि हराय नमः, कृष्ण यादवाय नमः, यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः, जय जगन्नाथाय जय बलदेवाय जय सुभद्रा मैया जय हो सुदर्शन, जय गौरांगी बेंगलोरेश्वर जय गौरांगी बेंगलोरेश्वर जय गौरांगी बेंगलोरेश्वर जय गौरांगी जय लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा जयो अनंत देव जय लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा जयो प्रहलाद महाराज जय वामन देव जय वामन देव वामन देव जय वामन देव जय गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन जय शालिग्राम जय शालिग्राम शालिग्राम जय हो शालिग्राम जय गौरानिताय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय हो गौरानिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल लीलावृष्य ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन विविटी संस्थापकाचार्य जगत गुरु शील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज शील प्रभुपाद की जय। नामाचार्य शील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। भक्ति प्रदायिनी श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय। गंगा माई की जय। यमुना माई की जय। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र गोप गोपिका राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई श्री सुदर्शन चक्र की जय। जय श्री श्री नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय। जय श्री श्री मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। जय श्री श्री पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। श्री श्री द्वारकाधीश धाम की जय। श्री श्री साकेत अयोध्यापुरी धाम की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय। Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Books Distribution की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada की जय। निताई गौर सितनाथ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतिरुत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Welcome you all to the morning session of Srimad Bhagavatam. On behalf of ISKCON Seshadripuram Mandir, I welcome you all. And today we are going to discuss from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 31st chapter, and 33 and 34 verses. I'm just going to share my screen, so let me know once you are able to view that. I hope it is visible to you, all of you. The title of the chapter goes like Lord Kapila's instruction on movements of the living entities. So under this chapter, we are going to read 33rd and 34th verses. Satyam shocham daya monam buddhiha shrihirshah shama shamodamo bhagascheti yasangadhyati sanshayam. Satyashocam dayamonam buddhiha sriharshaya shama shamodamo bhagascheti yatsangayati sankshayam. Satyam shocam dayamonam buddhiha sriharshah shama shamodamo bhagascheti yatsangadhyati sankshayam. The translation, synonyms, translation and the purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Satyam, truthfulness, Saucham, cleanliness, Daya, mercy, Monam, gravity, Buddhihi, intelligence, Shrihi, prosperity, Hri, shyness, Yashaha, fame, Kshama, forgiveness, Samaha, control of the mind, Damaha, control of the senses, Bhagaha, fortune, Cha, and Iti, thus, Yat Sangat, from association with whom Yati Sankshayam are destroyed. Translation: he becomes devoid of truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, gravity, spiritual intelligence, shyness, austerity, fame, forgiveness, control of the mind, control of the senses, fortune, and all such opportunities. Purport: those who are too addicted to sex life cannot understand the purpose of the absolute truth, nor can they be clean in their habits, not to maintain showing mercy to, not to mention showing mercy to others. They cannot remain grave, and they have no interest in the ultimate goal of life. The ultimate goal of life is Krishna or Vishnu, but those who are addicted to sex life cannot understand that their ultimate interest is Krishna consciousness. Such people have no sense of decency, and even in public streets or public parks, they embrace each other just like cats and dogs and pass it off in the name of lovemaking. Such unfortunate creatures can never become materially prosperous. Behavior like that of cats and dogs keeps them in the position of cats and dogs. They cannot improve any material condition, not to speak of becoming famous. Such foolish persons may even make a show of so called yoga, but they are unable to control the senses and mind, which is the real purpose of yoga practice. Such people can have no opulence in their lives. In a word, they are very unfortunate. So now we are going to read the 34th verse. Deshvashanteshu mudeshu khanditatma swashadusho sangam na kuryat choyeshu yota krida mrageshu cha. Deshvashantešu mudeshu खंडितात्म स्वसाधुषु संगम न कुर्याच्च छोयस्यु योष क्रीड़ा मृगेषु च तेष्व शान्तेषु मूढेषु खंडितात्म स्वसाधुषु संगम न कुर्याच्छोयेषु योषित्र क्रीड़ा मृगेषु च. Synonyms, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Synonyms: Teshu, with those, Asanteshu, coarse, Mudeshu, fools, Khandita, Atmasu, bereft of self-realization, Asadhushu, wicked, Sangam, association, Na, not, Kuryat, one should make, Shocheshu, pitiable, Yoshit, of women, Krida, Mrigeshu, dancing dogs, Cha, and translation: one should not associate with a coarse fool who is bereft of the knowledge of self-realization, and who is no more than a dancing dog in the hands of a woman. Purport. The restriction of association with such foolish persons is especially meant for those who are in the line of advancement in Krishna consciousness. Advancement in Krishna consciousness involves developing the qualities of truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, gravity, intelligence in spiritual knowledge, simplicity, material opulence, fame, forgiveness, and control of the mind and the senses. All these qualities are to be manifested with the progress of Krishna consciousness. But if one associates with a Shudra, a foolish person who is like a dancing dog in the hands of a woman, then he cannot make any progress. Lord Chaitanya has advised that any person who is engaged in Krishna consciousness and who desires to pass beyond material science must not associate with himself with women or with the persons interested in material enjoyment. For a person seeking advancement in Krishna consciousness, such association is more dangerous than suicide. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतसे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। जयतां सुरतोपङ्गोरा मम मन्दमतेर्गति मतसरस्वपादाम्भुजो श्रीराधामदनमोहनो दिव्याद्वृन्दरण्यकल्पद्रुमादो श्रीमद्रत्नागरा सिंहासनो स्थो श्रीमद्राधा शीलगोविन्ददेवो पृष्ठालिभिः सेव्या मनुस्मरामि। श्रीमनरासरसारम्भि वांसी वटतट स्थितः कर्षणवेणु स्वनिर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीस्तु नः। तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Once again, welcome you all in the morning session of Srimad Bhagavatam. So today we are going to discuss from Canto 3rd, 31st chapter and verses 33 and 34. So before going forward in today's discussion, so we need to understand the context and how we are actually going to understand this confidential subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this chapter, actually the title goes like Instruction of Lord Kapila on the Movements of Living Entities. So this chapter is very crucial for all the devotees who want to understand that how a living entity takes birth under the supervision of Supreme Personality of Godhead's energies, and how the body of the living entity progresses, and what kind of difficulties he faces during his gestation period in the womb of mother, right? And these are the prelude of this particular verses that we are going to read today. So first, Lord Kapila talks about the progress of living entity, and then he talks about the kind of difficulties, the problems, and the pains he suffers in the womb of mother. And it is said that if the living entity is fortunate enough, then he can remember his 100 previous lives, and he can see all, the parents and friends of all those 100 lives. And he suffers immensely because he remembers them all and ultimately is losing them all at the end of life. And in this horrible situation, he's mentally suffering and physically also, as he's surrounded by abominable fluids, and the worms are constantly scratching his body and biting it. So under this, difficult situation, the living entity prays to the Lord, right? And we all actually went through, this process. We also prayed. And Srimad Bhagavatam actually meant for all of us to remember those prayers that we have, made during our, gestation period in the mother's womb, right? So those prayers are, very important for all of us to understand that this life is not meant for anything but self-realization, right? And this is what we are promised in the womb of our mother, right? So this Srimad Bhagavatam actually remind us of all these promises that we have made in the womb of our mother. And after that, the prayers, Lord Kapila is stating that we should actually take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then he talks about how the human form of life is very important and is the summum bonum of all the living entities, 84 million of living, entities, species, right? And how actually he suffers in the womb of mother, what kind of problem he faces, and then how a conditioned souls, because of forgetting the Lord and getting indulged in the karmic activities, and moreover in the fruitive karmic activities, he go back to the hell. And now in this particular, verse that we are going to read today, 30 verses 33 and 34, here actually we are going to discuss that how the association of woman can actually lead to destruction of all the goals of spiritual life. But we need to understand it from the Vedic perspective, and then actually we should try to imbibe it, right, from the perspective of how it is being explained to us, right? So this is very important in terms of how it is going to affect our consciousness if we do not have all these qualities which are mentioned here in this particular verse. The Satyam, Shaucham, Daya, Maunam, Buddhi, Sri Harsham, Kshama, Shamo, Damo. So this is what Prabhupada is stating here, that if someone forgets, right, the Supreme Personality in the earlier verses actually. So if someone forgets that what is his actual position, right? So what is the actual position? What is the real position of a living entity? That is Jivero Swarupoe Krishnera Nityadas. So here actually Prabhupada stating in the translation that he becomes devoid of truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, gravity, spiritual intelligence, shyness, austerity, fame, forgiveness, control of mind, control of senses, fortune, and all such opportunities. So those who are addicted to sex life cannot understand the purpose of absolute truth, and nor they can be clean in their habits. So what is the meaning of this actually? Because we can understand it from the perspective of Vedas and the Shastras, that what is the main purpose of life, right? So there are four goals of life that are stated: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So these are four pillars of the human form of life, right? But in today's what you call as modern times, the people are giving more emphasis to sex life. So because whatever they are doing, right, I mean the whole energy is pointed towards enjoying, right, and that too mainly the sex life basically. So those who are addicted too much to this sex life, they cannot understand the purpose of absolute truth. The reason being that one who is addicted to sex life, right? So what does it means basically? Because if you are addicted too much to the sex life, then you will think all arrangements to be made to achieve that actually, right? So you need so many things to do that, right? You want to have that desire in your life, that you want to enjoy more and more and more and more without giving importance to other pillars, right? That is dharma and moksha, right? You are not thinking about that, only earth and kama, right? And even earth is very important, because nowadays people are not earning any earth, right? Earth means that is having some value in it, right? How it is going to help you, that's the main concern that we should have. Because the money if we are making, right, if it is not pointed towards if it is not being used to achieve the ultimate aim of life, then it is a waste, right? Similarly, if we are not using this human form of life to achieve the ultimate aim of life, then again it is waste of human form of life, right? But Prabhupada is here saying that one who is addicted to the sex life, right, all these qualities actually gradually diminishes from his character or personality. It cannot remain truthful, cannot remain clean, cannot be merciful, and cannot have the gravity in his character. Right, the spiritual intelligence become low, and gradually it becomes zero. Right, and it do not have shyness. Right, shyness means he's having now, if you understand it from the perspective of modern time, then you can see that people are becoming shameless, right? And that Prabhupada is actually, saying in the purport, on the name of love making, right? On saying that we are in a public, show of affection, right? But Prabhupada is saying that it is shameless, right? And austerity means to voluntarily accepting the inconveniences is called as austerity. So people are actually, becoming more and more addicted to, have a luxurious life, right? Rather than actually having austerity in their life. So that because austerity actually cleanses heart and body both, right? But now they are so much addicted to sex life, that they are actually going to lose this quality as well. On fame, basically fame means it is not about just becoming famous. So it's about becoming famous in right context, right? So people are actually, nowadays you see, making so many reels, right? You can see on the social media platform, right? And they are, saying all the absurd things, right? And they will try to become famous just by saying and doing the absurd things, right? And the forgiveness comes when you have compassion, right? So the compassion comes only when you think out of yourself, right? Out of your interest and your desires, then only you can become forgiveness, the quality can come in your personality. Because nowadays if you see, people are so much indulged in all other activities apart from a spiritual understanding, that this particular quality of forgiveness, because nowadays people are so much self-centered, right? And forgiveness comes only when you have compassion, and the compassion comes when you think about others, right? The compassion, the first compassion should be on ourselves actually. But then the problem is that we are having all kind of propaganda that is going around us actually, that we forget about the ultimate aim of life, right? So we see people are actually eating abominable things, right? And they are proudly says that we are non-vegetarians, right? But it is said that one who's eating meat, right, cannot have compassion in the heart. And in the absence of compassion, you cannot have forgiveness, right? Because more and more you indulge in meat eating, you will lose the quality of compassion, right? And you will be having more qualities which are not helpful in progressing on the spiritual path. Control of mind, again, if you see, so one who is addicted to sex life, how the control of mind he loses? Because his one pointed, goal is to somehow or satisfy the desires, right? He doesn't think about that how can I control my mind, right? So that's why they say lose control. If you are losing the control, then how you can have control, right? So that's why if the intelligence is corrupted, intelligence is considered as the driver, right? So if you can just think about, if the driver is corrupted, right, then what will happen to the vehicle and the people who are sitting in the vehicle? I mean, they are destined to have an accident, right? So similarly, if someone is having too much indulgence in sex life, right, then what will happen, that he gradually will lose the control of mind, right? So how does it happen? That once you have so much of indulgence, then what happens? That your mind is asking for more and more, and your, because of the senses are uncontrolled, because of mind is uncontrolled, right? Senses will having many desires, right? But the mind is the one who actually, first of all, the mind is the one who actually directs the senses to have those intentions, right? And the control of senses again will become very less, and gradually it will diminishes. And once the person become too much indulged in sexual activities or sex life. This is what Prabhupada is saying. And why Prabhupada is actually emphasizing that unfortunate creatures can never become materially prosperous. This is very difficult to understand, right? Because we see that people are so much into sex life, but still they are materially prosperous, right? They are having a lot of money and they have a lot of luxuries in their life. But Prabhupada here is actually mean to say that ultimately they will become materially pauper, because they are exhausting their account, right? So how much you can actually spend? You can spend only much that is in your account. You cannot go beyond the limit of your account, right? So they are just exhausting their account, and ultimately they will not be materially prosperous. And Prabhupada is saying because they are behaving like cat and dogs, so their position actually is like cats and dogs, right? Because these creatures do not think about time, place, circumstances, anything, right? They just want to satisfy their senses. Hardly matters whether they are in a closed enclosure or on a road or whatever it may be. So they just want to enjoy the senses without thinking about anything, right? So we as a human given with higher intelligence, right? And as they say that with higher intelligence or with the power there come responsibility, right? So if we are not acting according to the position, right, that is being given to us in this whole cosmic creation, right? So if we are, because humans are considered to be the most intelligent species, right? So intelligence means what? Intelligence. So other symptoms of a highly intelligent person, right, is that he is having control of the mind. Is the first thing that you can see, right? Because if somebody is not having that kind of intelligence which can help him to grow and can control his mind, then he's not actually can be called as intelligent person, right? So intelligent means to control the mind and then actually behave according to the constitutional position. That is the most important thing, right? So we as a human with given with higher intelligence, then we should not behave like cats and dogs, right? If we are behaving like cats and dogs, then in the next birth we will not be given human form of life. This is how the material nature works. Because suppose a CEO of a company, right? He comes to office, then he this as a CEO he gets so many rewards and remuneration from the company because he is CEO, right? He get a luxurious flat and a luxurious vehicle and the chauffeur and the high package of salary, right? But with that actually there comes responsibility. He cannot behave like an ordinary employee in the office because he is having that responsibility. Suppose a CEO of the company comes to the office and he started behaving like a peon, right? He started serving he do the activity that are given to a peon, and he uh, expect from the management to give him the same salary, right? So we think that it is a stupid idea that he is thinking that, I am a CEO of the company. How come it matters? I am doing work actually, right? So just doing work doesn't make sense, right? You have to do work as per your constitutional position, right? So he comes to the office and behaving like a peon and is expecting the salary of a CEO and the benefits that a CEO gets, then he's not going to get that in the long run. Because what will happen? That the management will come to know that he is given with the responsibility of a CEO and he's behaving like, he's acting like a peon, right? So he will be fired, right? He will be fired. And he may claim that, I was doing work, right? Work is important. I'm doing work. But the management will tell him that, boss, you are doing your work, but you are not doing according to the position that we have given to you, the responsibilities that we have given to you, right? He may say that, no, I'm doing work, right? So keep on giving me the same salary and the same, benefits. But the management will say that, no, boss, you are given with certain kind of portfolio, and that under that portfolio, you have to work according to the nature of the portfolio. And because of that, you are getting the benefits, right? And now, since you are not following, that particular aspect of a, CEO's position, then you are no more needed in our company, and they will throw him out, they will fire him, right? So similarly, in the material nature, we are given with higher responsibilities, higher intelligence, higher facilities, then we should actually act according to the shastric injunction that are in line with human form of life, right? If we are not doing that, we are behaving like cats and dogs, then material nature will not going to give us, the opportunity to become human in next life, right? Material nature will say that, boss, we have given you all this so that you can act according to the the kind of body is given to you, which is human form of life that has been given to you. You should act accordingly. If you are acting according to the animal nature, then you are prone to get uh, you know the animal form of life in your next birth. So this is how it works. So material nature is so strict, right? So that's why they become unfortunate, because they will lose whatever they have get in this life, and they destroy the chances of becoming human in their next life. So that's why if you see the people are, doing, and at the end of the this purport, Prabhupada is saying that such foolish persons may even make a show of so-called yoga, but they are unable to control the senses and mind. So the basic purpose of doing yoga is what? They are going to gym, they are hitting gyms, they are going to yoga centers, and they are actually spending time there to keep their body fit, right? But for what? To enjoy more actually, right? So people are actually going to gym or doing yoga to not to actually become self-realized, or they can remain fit so that they can progress on a spiritual path, but instead they are actually doing it so that can indulge more, right? So if they go to yoga center, they do their yogic practices daily, then they know that their body will remain fit and they can eat anything they want. They can do anything they want. So that is not the real practice, the real purpose of yoga practice. This is what Prabhupada is saying here. So the real purpose of yoga practice is to get reunited with the, Lord actually, in terms of becoming his servant, right? So part and parcel, we are part and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is the duty of living entity to serve the Lord. But when these facilities are given to us, we actually do not understand that these facilities are given to us so that we can actually make progress on a spiritual path, basically. And now, because we forget this, we get actually indulged in the activities that are not actually subscribes to the idea of human form of life, right? But though the sex or the procreation is one of the aspect of human life, but it is not the main one, right? That we should understand. And Prabhupada is saying that such people can have no opulence in their life, because whatever the opulence we may see in their life, but ultimately it will become dangerous to them, because they are going to use it for the satisfaction of the senses. And more you satisfy your senses, they will ask for more, right? Just like putting ghee in the fire, right? If you keep on putting fuel in the fire, then it is not going to get extinguished, right? It will, become more rampant, right? So the whole idea of having sex life is for the procreation, right? And Prabhupada is saying that they are very unfortunate. Unfortunate, why? Because by indulging in those kind of activities, they lose interest on to make progress on a spiritual life, and at the same time, they lose all these qualities, good qualities, in the process. And in the next verse, here Prabhupada is saying that one should not associate with a coarse fool who is bereft of knowledge of self-realization, who is no more than a dancing dog in the hands of human. So, Prabhupada is actually saying here in the first, line of this purport that the restriction of association with such foolish person is especially meant for those who are in the line of advancement in Krishna consciousness. So, if we associate with those kind of people who having no interest on the path of self-realization, or they do not want to know about the knowledge of the self-realization, then we shouldn't associate with those foolish person. Because if we associate with those kind of people, then ultimately we will lose our interest on the path of self-realization. So, Prabhupada is here saying that advancement in Krishna consciousness involves developing the qualities of truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, gravity, intelligence in spiritual knowledge, simplicity, material opulence, fame, forgiveness, control of mind and the senses. So, these are the qualities that we should actually develop if we want to advance in Krishna consciousness. And that actually become very difficult if actually we associate with those fools who are too much into gaining material things, or they become, woman hunters, actually, basically what you can call them. That's the right term, is like woman hunters. So wherever they go, the only goal is to somehow or other, you know get the association, and they can indulge in the sex life, basically. So here all the qualities are to be manifested with the progress of Krishna consciousness. But if one associate with Shudra is one who is actually not knowing the goal of life. One, that person is called as Shudra, right? So that's why it is said that Kalo Sambhava Shudra. In Kali Yuga, everyone will be Shudra because they are bereft of this knowledge. They having no idea about what is the ultimate purpose of life, and that's why they actually get indulged in those activities. And if we associate with those kind of people, then we will also lose the interest. And that's why it is said that the ultimate aim of life is to understand our relationship with the Lord. Who are we, and what is our relationship with the Lord? Who is Lord? And those questions, if we are not asking in our life, then we are like a Shudra. Right? And Lord Chaitanya, again, Prabhupada is saying here that has advised that any person who is engaged in Krishna consciousness and who desires to pass beyond material needs must not associate with himself with women or person interested in material enjoyment. So Lord Chaitanya is actually, giving a warning to everyone who want to progress on Krishna consciousness, that they shouldn't associate with those people, right? So what does it mean basically? Because we may claim that in our line of work we may need to meet so many people, and we have to interact with women as well, right? So how we can actually get rid of this kind of negative comment that is given. So we need to understand it's not negative, first of all, because the advice is given to the those who want to progress. If we want to progress, we have to interact, but we need to see that Lord is in everyone's heart, right? And his body is just a medium, right? And if somebody is too much into the medium and he forgets the goal, then there is no purpose, right? If we are giving too much importance to, the body, then we are, bodily conscious. We are not Krishna consciousness. We are not Krishna conscious for that matter. So if we want to become Krishna conscious, then we have to give up the idea of bodily consciousness. And to give up to give up the idea of bodily consciousness, we have to associate with those people who are actually, resolve in their purpose, and they want to progress on a spiritual path. So if we associate with those kind of people, associate with the devotees of the Lord, then then only we can give up the idea of bodily consciousness. Otherwise, it is very difficult, because if a person is a non-devotee, if a person is, not into the path of self-realization, and if we associate with them on the regular basis, then ultimately we will also lose interest, right? So this is a warning for those who want to progress on the spiritual path. But if it's someone doesn't want to, then obviously they are actually destined to go in, uh, hellish planets, right? Because they will, not get this human form of life anymore, right? So it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is Prabhupada is saying here at the end, if you see that Lord Chaitanya advised, and then he's saying that for a person seeking advancement in Krishna consciousness, such association is more dangerous than suicide. This is very, very important for all of us to understand this particular statement here given by Srila Prabhupada. Because this is the main point that what the Acharya says and what Shastra says, they are same basically, right? Because in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is one verse which actually states about the goal of human form of life. So it goes like Nradehamadhyam sulabham sudurlabham plavam sukalpam gurukarnadharam mayanukule nabhastvateritam puman bhavabdhim nataret sa atma. It is saying that once we get this rare human form of life, which actually we obtained very easily, right? We are given with this human form of life, which is very rare to find. We just, think about the ratio of 84 lakh species to one, right? What kind of ratio it is. So the probability, if you count, is so less, right? That we can get human form of life, right? After 83 lakhs 99,999 lives, we get this human form of life. So it's very important. And in this particular verse, Nadeham Atyam Sulabham Sudurabham Plavam Sukalpam Guru Karnadharam. So after getting this rare and easily obtainable human form of life, what we should do? We should make spiritual master as captain of this ship, right? And we should actually take advantage of the favorable winds. And what are those favorable winds? The mercy of the Lord is given in form of association of the devotees, right? So when we get the association of the devotees, then it is like favorable winds. And we make this body as what? As body as boat, and the spiritual master as the captain, and we make use of the favorable winds, and then we cross this material ocean. And it is said that Mayanukulena nabhastatveritam Puman Bhavabdim means this material ocean, right? And Puman Bhavabdim na taret sa atmaha. If someone who do not cross over this material world after getting this rare human form of life, which is easily obtainable, and if somebody is not crossing over this material ocean, then he is like a what? Atmaha. It is the suicidal, right? This is what Srila Prabhupada is also saying here, that for a person seeking advancement in Krishna consciousness, such association is more dangerous than suicide. Because suicide you attempt and you just, end this life. But if you keep on having those associations, then your next, all the births will be in the lower species, right? So that's why the association is very important in a devotee's life and a non-devotee's life. Everywhere the association is very important. So those who are seeking advancement in Krishna consciousness, then we should associate with those who's having that faith, that understanding and love for Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if we want to develop love for Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we should associate with those who's having love for Krishna, right? So if we are associating with atheists, if we are associating with people who are too much into material life, right? Then what will happen that they lose interest, they already lost their interest, and those who are associating with them, they will also lose their interest. And in due course of time, they will, leave the Krishna consciousness and God consciousness, and they will become atheists. There is 100% guarantee of that, right? And after getting this human form of life, we should try our best not to associate and to associate with those. So we should have a clear distinction in our mind that whom we should associate with and whom we should not associate with. So if we have this clear distinction, right, and that comes only when our intelligence is purified, and intelligence get purified only when we chant Lord's name with full attention, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So I thank you all very much for attending this session. So if you have any question, you may ask. Otherwise, we will end this session here. I hope that it was a knowledge giving session, and we can understand that what Prabhupada actually wanted to convey in those verses, and we can actually live according to the injunction of Shastras. So I pray all of you that please pray for me and pray for everyone that we actually get association of the pure devotees of the Lord, and we get benefit of that association by sincerely following the instruction given to us in those associations specifically. So here we will end. I thank you all very much once again. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Amal Puran Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda